Hello everybody, Mike Levin here, and I so get the feeling what I'm doing here with Pipulate is the calm before the storm. The timing of my work just happens to be such that Google is making this big push forward on a mobile-friendly version of Google Docs. It's not discussed much, but you'll find that in the UI itself, if you go out here to your file list, you're going to have this big red dot, or not, big green dot here, and in different versions, it's a different color. So like the docs would have a big blue circle, and slides would have a big yellow circle in the lower right corner. So when you go in with mobile, you can see here, this is a UI that pretty much works just fine on a phone. And I think that's pretty cool. So on my project today, I'm writing a crawler that'll work inside Google Docs. And when last we left off, I just got to the point where I could use the insert rows function, which was built for the more kind of internal housekeeping of the Pipulate system and not for use by the plugins that reside in functions.py. But it is a fantastic step forward in that I made it work from here, this 4-line function to insert a list of lists into the spreadsheet. And now I am going to actually load the code from off of this page here. So you can see that URL is the column name. That means that's the parameter that's going to make that available to here. And what we do is first we add a URL here because that's going to be a required parameter. And then we look at places where we're loading code in over that for how it's done. It's usually the request object. I can see one right down here. We're not doing any parameters, but that's it. That's this right here. So I yank it. I pull it up here. I yanked too much. Yank, yank. Paste. Outdent it. Get rid of that line. And that's too many letters to look at. And this is the request object. I'm going to go with RO. The request object is getting the code from URL. And now, one of the first things I like to do is to just return URL, even before that request occurs, because that will let us know that we're bringing in the parameter correctly. So let's do that first. Pipulate. You should just see the URL essentially copied over from column A to column B. And there it is, as expected. But now we're going to load that code, the HTML, from that URL. And let's see, let's return ro.text. So we know we're sitting on top of all the HTML. It'll just sort of cram it in there, right? No problem. And as you may recall, you can sort of watch the debugging go on here. There it is. All the HTML from the Screaming Frog page. Should I cut the video there? Is that enough? Well, still we've just covered ground that's kind of familiar. First of all, let me turn off that pesky line wrapping. That would be this here. We'll go with chop and single line. Well, we'll just get rid of it. Makes it ugly to look at. We know it's working. And the next step is going to be to try and grab all the links from out of that URL. I think in the sake of short videos, I'm going to cut it there. Thanks for joining me. Join in for the next episode where I look at beautiful soup, LXML, regular expressions, and all my other choices to get the list of URLs from out of that HTML and insert them as a list of lists here. Thanks for joining me. Talk to you soon. Don't forget to subscribe.